everyone, my name is Thalia Vega, and I'm super excited to announce that I will be doing something very different in this channel. Every Tuesday will be Terror Tuesday, which is where I will be talking about a crime that's very interesting and that I would like to share with you guys. Something that will probably scare you or probably get you thinking like, what is wrong with these people? So if you like crime and you like thinking about things like I do, I think you should stay tuned and maybe subscribe to that channel because it's going to get interesting. So remember, Terror Tuesdays every Tuesday, so make sure you have that notification on and subscribe. So I started all that. Let's get right into business. Leonardo Sinicoli was born April 18, 1894, born in a town called Montella in Italy. Before we get right into her killings, we gotta know her backstory. During Leonardo's existence, her mother emotionally abused her to the point that Leonardo actually tried to kill herself twice, even after her mom remarrying to another man. Her mother could not look at Leonardo and think of her father. Like, she just looked at her and was like, yeah, don't like you. This is not my child. So in 1917, Leonardo actually found someone that she fell in love with. She was like, I'm going to marry this man. I love him. But once Leonardo's mother found out, and it wasn't one of the guys that she had lined up that had, cha-ching money, Leonardo's mom was like, no, you can't marry him. But Leonardo was like, girl, I will marry him. And Leonardo's mother actually kicked her out and disowned her. Was like, bye, you gotta leave. If you are not choosing one of the guys I have for you, and they got money, then you gotta go. 4 years later, the couple actually moved to southern Italy to start their new life because Leonardo has no family, they disowned her. So at this point, she only has her husband. Once they moved there, they had jobs, they had careers, they were doing great until Leonardo went to jail for fraud. I was like, sis, thought you were doing better with your life. Like, come on. But she still went to jail. The couple needed a fresh start, so they moved to 2 different locations, and they found a town called Corgo, which is where they felt comfortable to actually live and stay. Leonardo opened up a soap shop, where not only did she sell soap, but she hypnotized her clients and informed them that she can see the future, and she can make dreams come true. Throughout the town, Leonardo was well liked. Like, everyone loved her. Everyone loved going to her shop. They just enjoyed being around her. Even though her kitchen stunk a little bit, like, had a smell, they just thought, it was her past life. She had a rough one. Throughout her marriage, her and her husband gone through a lot of pregnancies. They actually went through 17, 3 miscarriages, and 10 babies died throughout, their time because of various illnesses. Because back in that time, they didn't have, like we do, all those shots, all that kind of stuff. So, unfortunately, all her babies passed. With that being said, she had 4 surviving children. So, which means she was very overprotective for her children because she lost everyone else. She doesn't have anything else left. In 1938, her eldest son, her favorite son, remember that, informed her that he was being drafted into the military because World War II was coming along and they needed as many people as they could, so they drafted him in. So at that moment, she was like, I need to protect my son at all costs. I only have 4 children left. This is my favorite child. I need to protect him. I don't want anything to happen to him. So she felt as though that she brought God into this. She felt as though, if she sacrificed a body, God would then help her and help her son and make sure he's not dead. But in reality, that didn't work, honey. It did not. So please, do not go out there and think you should sacrifice people. Because it's not going to work. You ain't getting nothing. It ain't coming for you. So don't do that. She started sacrificing women. She chose 3 women, by exact, before she got caught. to sacrifice. So let's get into each of them. The first victim was 73 years old, named Fiestina Seda. She was poor, lonely, an unmarried woman, desperate for a husband. She would then go to Leonardo's shop and vent to her, saying that, "I can't find anyone. Can you help me find someone?" So of course Leonardo was like, "Yeah, I can help." So Leonardo said she had someone that she can't tell no one. So they started, writing letters to each other. But in reality, it was Leonardo writing those letters. So once she received a letter saying that you should come meet me, you ready to meet me? You ready to get married? She packed up her bags and went right over to Leonardo for the last time they see each other, So Leonardo offered her wine. Some say it was coffee, some say it was wine, but who knows? But Leonardo offered her a drink. But then she started feeling groggy, like she was drugged. Once the lady was cold, Leonardo hit her with an axe, chopped her up in 9 different pieces, and then took a bucket and was collecting that blood. It was like, "Give me that blood over here." And then during her trial in 1946, Leonardo actually explained the whole story and how she killed this woman. She waited until the whole body was dried up. Then she made sure it was dry because she put it in that oven. She grounded it, mixed it, put some flour, put some sugar, chocolate, milk, eggs, and other ingredients that she put together. And she made crunchy tea cakes where she would give it to her customers and even her oldest son. So that is pretty weird. And did I mention she also ate them too? Not only did she do that with her victims' bodies, but she would drain their blood, put it in some cookies, some desserts, and give it out to families, children, and anyone in that neighborhood. And that's pretty weird. So in reality, don't take treats from people that you don't know. Then, with the meat of the body, she kind of put some more ingredients in there, and she made soap. She put them in little pieces, and she started selling it right in her shop. But then she felt, one body was not enough. It's not going to protect my son, so I got to do more killing. So this woman went out for a search. She then started searching for another lady until she found Francesca. And Francesca was 55 years old when she died. So with that killing, she did exactly what she did with the first killing. She, persuaded her, invited her, drugged her, axed her, drained the blood, chopped up the pieces, the casual things that people do nowadays, chopping up bodies, eating them, whatever. But this time, it was different. The lady wasn't finding a husband, but instead, she wanted to find a job for this woman. Because she needed a job. So she felt as though, I think I found a job for her. So come over. Let's celebrate with wine. And let me drug you. In reality, I'm not going to brag or be like, "Oh my God, she made this much money." But for those killings, she actually profited a lot of money, which is very surprising. Because many people didn't know what was going on. But when they found out, everyone, of course, was disgusted. But she made 30,000 lire, like their money in Italy, which ranges today in the U.S. currency, $4,900. All right, so Leonardo's final victim was her friend. Her name was Virginia. She was actually an opera singer, and Leonardo actually promised her that she had a job in Florence and being a secretary. And Virginia was super happy. Like, she was ecstatic because she's 53 years old and she's thinking in her head, like, this is my prime time. This is my glory time. Like, I'm super happy because this is something I didn't see myself coming. So on September 30th, 1940, Virginia went to see Leonardo for the last time to show her, like, thank you. Like, thank you for helping me get to this position. But then, she was like the others. Leonardo repeated what she did, even to her friend. So then, in 1946, during Leonardo's trial, she explained how chubby Virginia's fate was. During the trial, she explained how differently Virginia's body was compared to the others. She used the fat and she boiled it. Then she added cologne, which helped her make her creamy soap, where she gave it to all her neighbors and all her acquaintances. That's a red flag right there. If you're getting free stuff, there's something wrong with that. So, don't get free stuff. So this was Leonardo's friend, right? Well, she made a lot of money with Virginia because since that was her friend, she actually went to her house and raided everything. Took her jewelry, took her clothes, took everything. Everything you can think of she took. She either sold it to people or she gave it away. Like giving away her dead friend's stuff. That's nuts to me. So many questioned on how Leonardo got caught because not many people looked at her as a bad person per se. They just thought she was a good person making some soap. It might have smelled, but they didn't think she was killing anybody. So one of Virginia's family members actually cared about her going missing. So she actually reported her missing and then started investigating. Virginia's family member told the police officers that the last time I seen Virginia, she was walking into Leonardo's house. So then, of course, the police officers went to her home, questioned her, and she pled her innocence until they started looking into her eldest son. Remember that I talked about him earlier? Well, that's her favorite son. So once the cops were looking at him, it was like, this could be the guy here. She then was like, oh no, I'm telling you, I did it. She then started telling the truth. She started saying what she did to all her victims. She kept talking and telling them like everything they wanted to know. So during her trial, she told it all. Like she told them everything in the trial. Everything they wanted to know, Leonardo told. She just kept talking. She kept saying each thing that she did in her crime. She was telling them bit by bit. This is how I cooked them. This is how I ate them. This is how I gave them away. She told them. She was fearless on that part. While Leonardo was in custody, she decided, why not make a memoir? And it titled Embittered Souls Confessions. So lovely. It includes best practices for turning human body parts into soap. Very interesting, right? That's what she did when she was in custody. Outside the jail, in the courtroom, in the walls, people waited for hours to get seated to watch her trial. Like, this was the biggest trial yet where they lived. Like, nothing really happens in this town until she started selling human body parts in soap. So the crazy part was, Leonardo was actually proud of her work. She was actually very happy how the country wasn't just focused on war, but focused on her. Like, that's crazy. So then, during trial, many people were questioning, like, how can this woman do this by herself? Like, did she have assistants? Did she have a partner? But then they decided, let's take her to the morgue. Show me what you did. Just show me. How did you do this to the bodies? So then, Leonardo actually demonstrated what she did. Like, girl, you ain't really trying to plead your innocence at this point. You're just like, excuse me, I did it, put me in jail. What are you going to do? So she literally told them what happened. She told them how she did her 9 pieces in 12 minutes. That is a full-time record. Record right there, honey. Okay, so not only was she in trial, but her son and her husband were in trial. But they were acquitted because they had no knowledge of what was going on with her. They didn't know that she was doing these illegal activities. So they were just let go because they weren't involved. So after the whole trial, Leonardo was found guilty of 3 murders, given a sentence of 30 years in prison and 3 years in a criminal asylum. That's a good choice right there. She needs a little hug. Leonardo was actually found guilty, of course, guilty of 3 murders and given a sentence of 30 years and 3 years in a criminal asylum. Her family hugged her goodbye, and she went on her days. She actually died in prison in 1970, and throughout the town, she was known as the soap maker. With that being said, everyone, thank you so much for watching my first video for Terror Tuesdays. I'm super excited to get back with you guys and getting back in the groove of things. My goal is to post every Tuesday on a true crime or just something scary that gets into the mood of terror. So if you guys like true crime and you guys just like hearing stories, remember to subscribe, hit that notification button, and always be back for Terror Tuesdays. So I'll see you next week.